We reserve a few minutes every Sunday to discuss current trends that seem to be predicted by the Bible. We are futurists. It means that we interpret the unfulfilled portions of the book of the Revelation, the book of Daniel, and other unfulfilled prophecies as future events in a literal, physical, apocalyptic, and global context. Biometrics, artificial intelligence, cashless commerce, the manipulation of human DNA, surveillance on a wide scale, global government, the exponential growth of human knowledge, these are all areas we see that can corroborate Bible prophecy. The mark of the beast is presented in the Revelation as a means by which governments of the future will control every aspect of a person's life. With this mark, you will be able to participate in the cashless, contactless society. Without it, you'll be severely restricted or entirely cut off from goods and services. With that in mind, I'd like to talk about vaccine passports. Countries across the globe have begun announcing vaccine passports, allowing their citizens to use proof of vaccination from COVID-19 in order to be able to travel once again. One article reported the following about the nations of the world. It said, China unveiled its digital vaccine passport last month to be accessed via an app that would allow people to verify their vaccination status. Japan recently announced plans for a similar digital passport expected to debut in the coming weeks. The European Union says it backs a digital green certificate, which would allow citizens who have proof that they've been vaccinated, received a negative test, or have recovered from COVID-19 to travel all 27 member states. The United States hasn't announced a plan yet, though several companies within the United States are developing digital vaccine certificates for smartphone apps. Data shows that the interest of Europeans to obtain a certificate is very high. In Germany, for example, within 2 weeks, 5 million COVID vaccine passports have been issued. Iceland is the only non-EU area member that has started issuing the document for its citizens. The other three, Liechtenstein, Switzerland, and Norway, have all completed the test phase and are ready to connect to the gateway. Governor Newsom earlier this week touted that the state is working on a digital version of the official paper immunization cards that people receive when they get their shots. People won't be required to use the system, Newsom said, but if you want to, say, attend a concert or book a flight, businesses will be able to require verification in the same way that they can continue to require masks, even though the state, with a few exceptions, no longer mandates them. This is a quote, "Businesses have the freedom of choice across the spectrum," Newsom said Monday, and so it could be soon no shirt, no shoes, no passport, no service. So I want you to, for a minute, set aside your personal opinions about the pandemic and about masks and about vaccines. Think only as a futurist who is looking at trends that would seem to relate to Bible prophecy. Wouldn't you admit that a vaccine passport that is necessary to travel and to participate in commerce sounds like a step towards governments being able to control just about everything a person does? Do you think the government will want to expand this necessity for passports or do away with it? When COVID-19 season comes around this year, or when the next pandemic hits, won't governments find it much easier to enforce their mandates? Once you have access to, your vaccine passport rather, allowing or disallowing access, it could be used for anything that the governing authorities deem necessary. And so right now they're saying, hey, if you want to fly somewhere, you need to prove that you've been vaccinated, and maybe some businesses here and there, but it would be easy once everybody's on board with this kind of a system to say, hey, here's what's going to happen. We think this next pandemic is even worse, and if you can't go anywhere unless we allow it, and we're going to track this and find businesses and find churches. Some churches up in Canada, one church in particular, and the Canadians have gone nuts. Are you following this? They arrested this pastor, then they put a fence around his church and assigned 200 officers to guard it. It's smaller than our building. And then one guy went out into the wilderness to have secret church, and they found him with a helicopter. I mean, it's like church warfare in Canada. So so forget, we're not talking politics here. We're talking about the ability of the government, any government, to track you and to control your behavior. And all I'm saying is that passports that identify you and give you access or restrict access are exactly what you would expect from reading the Bible. And you wouldn't have expected it even a year ago, as much as you do now, but now you see how it all works out. We believe the resurrection and rapture of the church is imminent. It can happen at any moment. Nothing needs to happen before the Lord comes to resurrect the dead in Christ and then rapture living believers. Are you ready for the rapture? If not, get ready, stay ready, and keep looking up, because ready or not, Jesus is coming.